Last season, it was a fight of three for the crown that ultimately led to Rob Olenek being crowned the 2020 Season 1 champion. As we all know though, the opposition never sleeps, and after just 1 week of fun and games, it's back to the serious stuff. And with that, the title defense is on. Round 1 isn't a place where you can win a championship, but most definitely lose it. So starting off strong will be a key aspect of everybody's strategy here today. So join us now as we get ready to watch Round 1 of the Grand Prix Legends series live here on the Global SimRacing channel via the iRacing eSports network. The crew to give you all these stats and storylines today will be Ryan Walker, joining myself, Stefan Schlaffer. Turning the knobs and pushing the buttons behind the scenes is our director Sean Regus Ambrose, and he's using cameras provided by the great Dougie Beard. Phillip Island, just off the south coast of Australia, is probably alongside Mount Panorama the most known Aussie track. Though, since we might have new viewers, let's head down to the track with GSRC's own track guide.
Alright, we're in the GSRC Lotus 49, so let's do a lap around Phillip Island. Coming down the Gardner Straight, let the car drift to the left and get ready to slow up for Doohan. This quick sweeper offers something of a passing opportunity, but trying to slip through here too wide can be pretty scary. Be prepared for some intense battles in this first corner. Then bring it back to the right as best you can and get the car rotated into the southern loop. You don't want to apex too early around this extremely long bend. Set yourself up so that you can get off the exit smoothly and confidently on the power. From there, it's a short burst to Stoner where you can't quite take it flat out. Feather the throttle until you're confident you won't understeer into the grass. But don't get too eager because before you know it, you're braking for Honda. This is another spot where a lot of passes will tend to take place. You only get a short squirt of the throttle before you're chucked into Siberia. Despite a fair bit of camber here, it's best to try and late apex this uphill bend. It's going to be especially tricky to get the power down here because of the kink of turn 7. A little safety lift to about 90% throttle will keep the car from swapping ends on you. Then lift through 8, give another stab to the power, and finally scrub off speed up and around Lukey Heights. Hug the inside of the corner all the way to the exit so that you can have the proper line into MG. Don't let the slow speeds fool you because the downhill braking into this hairpin makes it easy to overshoot the apex. After that, the track immediately switches back through turn 11 where you've got to wait patiently before fully getting onto the gas. Then comes what I think is the most fun corner of the circuit. Give it a big lift coming into 12, but tuck the wheel right up to the inside curb. Slowly feed on the power and counter steer to keep the car straight so that you can really fly out of here. Hopefully you kept it all together and have now finished a lap around Phillip Island.
Joe Peak doing what nobody can do better, talking and driving you a lap around the Phillip Island circuit. Ryan, what else can you add to the fantastic drive we have just seen by Joe Peak?
So yeah, Phillip Island, located close to Victoria, and we'll be using the GP layout today, and it has an amazing 12 turns. I thought it would have been more with how big the track is, and the length of the track is 2.762 miles in length, or 4.445 kilometers if you prefer to use that. Has some amazing places that you can make a move, especially into turn 1 in that long fast right-hander, and also, turn 3 you can make a move there as well if you get a good run on someone. Some amazing corners that you can make a move, but also some corners where it can go terribly wrong.
And that is one of the key aspects around this track. On the paper, it doesn't look too hard, Ryan, but those key corners really can screw up a very good race for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Phillip Island's one of those tracks that it's a great track to race around, but also it's kind of, if you try and, in a way, try and fight it, it'll punish you and it'll bite you big.
Yeah, and speaking about biting you, let's have a look about last season's championship points. Obviously, in the F01 Championship, we have seen the great Rob Olenek being able to take home his championship in Season 1. Roman Paslowski, only 11 points separated them in the very end. Michel Dudignon 94 points behind, and then Mick Cledge 99 points behind. Michel Dudignon, if I remember correctly, wasn't there for the first 2 rounds, and then obviously Mick Cledge had this big World Tour planned, or Tour of Europe planned with his bicycle, and thus didn't attend the last, I think, 4 races, if I remember correctly. So they all both dropped a few points there. And Ovid Terengrid, he really didn't have a very good season last time around. 165 points back in the very end. At least he managed a top 5 there. Ryan, how did the F2 championship end up?
So yeah, in the F2 championship, the battle for that championship was basically between Bill Tyler and Antonio Reyes. It was mainly those two that were in contention for the championship, but Andrew Eng wasn't too far behind either. I'll get my words right, but in the end, Bill Tyler took that championship with 277 points, and then Antonio Reyes finished second, a further 25 behind. And then the rest of the pack were just playing catch up, with Andrew Eng finishing in third, a further 108 points back. Colin Coker finished in fourth, and rounding out that top 5 was David Rossi, a further 156 points back.
Also, we do follow the Nations Cup here. That is like they had back then in the old F1 days. They didn't have a Constructor Championship, but a Nations Cup. And this Nations Cup round of 2020 Season 1, United States won by 511 points, 38 points ahead of Germany. United Kingdom was 67 points behind in third. France already 175 points behind. And then Norway a whopping nearly 250 points behind in 5th place. Those latter two, France and Norway, most definitely will be looking to turn that tide in this second season of 2020. Ryan, we might have a few new viewers, not only because of the Sebring 12 hours that is going to be happening soon, but also maybe they just found us for the very first time. How are the race details for this series?
So the details for the first round of the new season, for anyone, like you say, anyone that's tuning into the series for the first time, or fancies watching something different from the Sebring 12 hours. This is the first round of the new season, for round 1 of 12, I should say. The race length for today will be 22 laps. And as always, the setup for the series is open. So if you want to make any changes like tyre pressures, camber, ride heights, suspension, anything like that, you are more than free to do so. And the incidents, as always, will be 17x. So if you get a 17x, that will be a penalty. And if you get to 25x or go over that, that will be an automatic disqualification.
And as always, you're watching this broadcast live on the iRacing eSports Network. Make sure to like and especially subscribe if you haven't done so yet. You'll know if you haven't, as the button will still be bright red. And as also always, the Grand Prix Legends community would once again, in this new season, kindly ask you, the Lotus 49 fans, for a donation into their broadcast fund. If you'd like to find out more about these donations or their broadcast fund, please have a look into the description of this broadcast. Every dollar counts. The Lotus 49 community thanks you that considers donating, and also thanks everyone that has throughout past season and up till this point decided to donate into their broadcast fund. Also, Ryan, it does seem like we have a little bit of a technical issue with our video stream from the island. So we are going to have a little bit of a radio talk here with our guys. And Rob Olenek is right now in 3rd place on his title defense, with Peter Mikus in 2nd place and Michel Dudignon about a 2/10 ahead of Peter Mikus in 1st place.
Yeah, the usual names that we see in up front in the series, the likes of Rob and Michelle, and up there as always, and there's no real surprise really considering how quick they are in this car. So I think they'll be the main people to watch this season. And also with Mick Claridge not being around for the new season due to other commitments, I think it'll give these guys a chance to, give us a chance to see a battle for this championship for the start of the season anyway.
Yeah, we're still about a minute and 15 seconds away from the finish of qualifying. A few people still have to run their qualifying laps. Overtranger just tried to do so, but his second lap didn't count, so he still sits in 5th place on a 128.683. Let's see. I think the next guy to actually cross the finish line is going to be Chris Murakami, but he has already done his 2 laps. He's right now sitting in 7th place with a 29.142. A few people are stopping on course. Some are trying to do some practice starts. But it really does seem like, Ryan, that we are having a grid already formed up for today.
Yeah, that's yeah, kind of it, or kind of an unexpected. Normally, people try and wait as long as possible before hitting the grid, but maybe with round one, people are eager to get on the grid straight away and get this season started as quickly as possible.
Seems like we're slowly but surely starting to get our feet back here. The car you're seeing right now, that is Antonio Rees. As the time runs out on him, he was already on his 3rd lap in qualifying, so it wouldn't have counted anyway. And with that, Michel Dudinho has the 1st place on the grid. That's also the first pole of the season here in the Grand Prix Legends community. Peter Mikos rounds out the first row with him in 2nd place. Rob Olenek 3rd place for him, with Daniel Sadro in 4th. Over Trank Rate 5th place, Antonio Rees 6th. Chris Murakami, strong outing for him in the first race. 7th place for him on the grid, with Nicola Kochi in 8th. Sebastian Tixier in 9th, and Alessandro Pargini is going to round out your top 10 of the grid.
Starting in 11th is David Rossi. Alongside him in row 6 is Andrew Eng in 12th. Robert Plumley starting in 13th. Good to see Robert out on track today. Alongside him in row 7 is Michael Cook. 15th is Brennan Cleveland, and alongside him is Donald Peake. Good to see Donald on the track as well today. 17th is Colin Coker, and alongside him in row 9 is Marco Ravioli in 18th. 19th is
and the green flag is already out, sorry there, Ryan, but the cars are making their way into turn 1 already. Doohan corner is the first one they have to take. We have a little bit of a 3 wide in behind. Chris Murakami is going to come out of that. He is sitting in 6th place right now. But seems like everybody is able to make it their way through the first corner very successfully. Nobody finds themselves in the grass.
I'm just looking further back in the pack as well. It looks like everyone's managed to make it through the first couple of corners without any issues, but the big test will be the hairpin to see if anyone makes a mistake.
Ooh! Nicola Kochi there, very aggressive on the inside of Chris Murakami, and there's a pile-up in the back. Alessandro Pargini finds himself on his head. That's not gonna make him any further around this track. A few cars are still struggling for grip on the outside of Siberia, but it seems like we have our first victim of this race.
Yeah, a couple of drivers just outbraking themselves into the first hairpin, and this unfortunately ended up in contact. But head down to the second hairpin, come round the final couple of corners. It looks like everyone's surprisingly it's actually spread out.
Yeah, right now Michel Dudinho still inherits his first place with Miku 2nd, Olenek 3rd, Sadra 4th, over train rate 5th. And Chris Murakami right now in 6th place. He's the first car to gain a position on everybody else. But there's already a big spread between Chris Murakami and over train rate as Rob Olenek tried to do a move. No, actually, sorry, Sadro made a move on Rob Olenek that completely went by me. Sorry for that. Rob Olenek lost his position. Now also nearly loses his car of the southern loop. Keeps it together though. Makes his way now through turn 3. A little bit of a lift through for these guys. They can't make it possibly on full throttle. That's just the way this car works here. It only has about 250 brake horsepower, but whoa, those really need to get a good right foot. Yeah, speaking about a good right foot, Daniel Sadler nearly loses his car. Sorry, Ryan. That could have been disastrous for Rob Olenek.
That's no problem. Yeah, I was about to say Sadler got a bit sideways. And, is he? Yeah. Is he just about to get sideways?
Rob Olenek putting on a show for the drift competition right now. That's not what we're racing for, Rob. You're not going to be able to take anything from this race with those 10 points from the jury. Gotta be fast to get those points away.
Yeah, I think I've seen this a few times with Rob. With this car anyway. Last season, he seemed to like drifting this car an awful lot. Maybe he's been getting his drifting ideas from OV Trengrid.
But thus far, it does work out for Rob Olenek. He only lost one position. That was to Daniel Sadro, which it does seem like a little bit that Sadro was able to improve on his form from last season. Probably wasn't very happy with that. But yeah, right now finding himself in third place must be a good boost to the morale as we're riding on board, looking over the shoulder of Rob Olenek. Oh, and up ahead, that is Peter Mikas going wide through
That was
Siberia.
Daniel
He tries to keep up with Michel Dunion, but the Frenchman, once again, a league of his own. 1.5 seconds, he's already in front of the rest of the pack, just after 2.5 laps.
Yep, Michel Dunion, he was quick last season, but he didn't seem to have that much luck.
Oh, actually, sorry, Rob Olenek tried to overtake Daniel Sadro. He's nearly losing his car through MG. That's not gonna work for him. Now he nearly loses the car once again through turn 11. Keeps it together though. That was very close between the rear and the front of Sadro and Olenek respectively. So we're gonna go back onto replay there to see how this all happened. There you can see them already side by side going down into MG, and that, Ryan, was very close.
Yeah, I thought I was going to end up in contact between Sadro and Olenek, but yeah, luckily Daniel seen Rob throwing it up the inside, and he left just enough room for both them to get round. And yeah, Daniel Sadro done a nice, lovely switch back when Olenek ran wide. So yeah, quite impressive from Daniel.
A little bit of an update on all the cars that in that first lap incident. Only Alessandro Parisi is right now out of this race. He scored 2 laps down for obvious reasons, but he isn't out of the race yet, so we might see him come back onto the track again, as OV Trengrid has a few problems through Siberia. Keeps it together though, but lost about half a second there to the back of Rob Olenek. Gaston Peak has an issue. He's stranded in the Honda hairpin. We're gonna see a quick replay there. Well, Ryan, tell us what happened.
It was like under braking. Donald just ran wide, and might have just lost grip. Ooh, I thought he was going to rejoin in front of the oncoming pack, but it looks like Donald just lost under braking and just ran slightly wide on the apex and got onto the marbles.
Now we're back on live pictures with Donald Pigas. We're gonna take a look up into P number 14. That is between Brennan Cleveland and Andrew Angus. They had their way through the last turn. Seems to be a better run for Andrew Ang through here. Let's see how effective the draft is down this straight, Gardner Straight. This is very long and then downhill into Duhan. Andrew Ang tries to look to the inside, but to no avail. He's going to keep behind in 15th place, right behind Brennan Cleveland.
Yep, it's coming around this corner, and just having a look through the field to see if anyone's gained any positions, and it looks like it's just about everyone's round about where they started. So, and it's consider it's the early stage of the race, Steph. It's actually spread out quite a lot.
Yeah, the biggest mover right now is Michael Cook in 9th place. He started in 14th as we have a look on your current leader of Michel Dunion. About 8/10 in front of Peter Mikas. So Mikas, after his small mistake through Siberia, was able to close in that gap again. About 7/10 he closed in last lap, as we're going to look back to Chris Murakami versus Nicola Kochi. Looking over the left tire of Kochi's car. The Italian sure wants to get that 6th place away from Chris Murakami. Let's see if he can already do it into turn 1. Looks to the right, but once again, just not long enough for anything to do. And also, right, we have to say, turn 1 not really a passing opportunity because of the light braking you actually do.
Yeah, it's not really a passing place. I guess if you get a great run on the exit of the final corner, and you're close to someone in front of you, you can't possibly make a move into turn 1, but it requires a bit of bravery, put it that way.
Bravery or just luck that the car in front of you made a mistake out of the last turn. We're still looking at that battle for 6th place, as I want to record a little bit that Rob Olenek was able to close into Daniel Sadro, as they are now going their way through Lukey Hates. Rob Olenek maybe tries to do the same thing once again into MG, just without spinning out. Indeed he tries, and this time he succeeds. Rob Olenek back into 3rd place.
Yeah, I'm just watching. I think Rob's slightly quicker than Daniel at the moment. Excuse me, quicker than Daniel at the moment. So I think Daniel's just decided it's not worth putting up too much of a fight at the early side of the race. What you want to about lap 6 at the moment? Well, going on to lap 7, sorry. So it's still early, but I think Daniel's just playing the long game at the moment.
Yeah, they most definitely have also dropped over train rate a little bit, as he is still sitting in 5th place. And that also, by the way, puts everyone inside the top 5 back to where they started. So the top 5 without position change. Then we have Chris Murakami, who gained a position,
still early, but I think
as did Nicola Kochi and Sebastian Tixier. As we're gonna look back actually to P10, that's David Rossi and Antonio Rees. Let's see what those two can do as they make their way through Stoner. A few different lines we're seeing here. Some drag out to the middle, some keep close to the left side, Ryan. What do you think would be the better idea here? To stay to the left or to really go for it through Stoner and compromise your entry into Honda a little bit?
For me anyway, for any time I've raced around here, I always prefer to stay as tight as possible to the left, just to try and get a good entry into the hairpin. But I guess it depends if you've got a car behind you and you're trying to defend from them. As Reyes tries to go up the inside.
I did not see that pass coming. Antonio Rees moves up into 10th place with the move of the race. I'm gonna call it right here, Antonio Rees. Congrats on that award.
Yeah, I want to see a replay of that, because that was I did not expect that, but that was a brilliant move. A bit brave, but brilliant move. Just look at the replay now from above, and Reyes just takes advantage. Ooh, there's a bit of a nudge there, but all good.
Wow.
Reyes up the inside, 10 out of 10 for bravery.
David Rossi with the smallest mistakes you can make in a Lotus 49, just a little bit too fast into the corner. Antonio Rees says, thank you very much, that's my gap, I'm through, bye-bye. And maybe we're gonna see something like that with Daniel Sadro and Rob Olenek. Olenek tried to do it twice into MG. Once he succeeded to get back his position on Daniel Sadro. Now it's Sadro's turn to do the same. MG it is where this battle has seen its places happen. But this time Sadro just not close enough into MG to do anything. Also interesting to see two different lines. There's Sadro keeping it close, with Rob Olenek going wide there. Trangrade also seems to getting back a little bit into this pack. A 10th behind now. Let's see what happens between those two. Down Gardner. Sadro looks to the right side, just not gets inside though. So he has to stick back one more time. That's a slow car on the inside though. That's Alessandro Parigi. He's gonna let those three past. That means Parigi is back in the game. But it seems like we have lost Trent Buss, because I'm seeing him in the pit lane. As it doesn't seem like we're gonna see anything into Honda between this battle for third place. Let's have a look at once again Michel Dudignon, who after 8 laps still is leading. Now though 2.7 seconds ahead of Peter Mikus. So Peter Mikus most definitely doesn't have anything for the Frenchman here today. only mistakes can hinder the Frenchman from his first victory of this season. Let's hope that that's not going to happen, as Colin is going to be one lap down in just a few moments.
That is it. As this battle for P12 was going on between Robert Plumley, Colin Coker, and Andrew N. And Plumley's having a great race at the moment. I think this is the best we've seen Plumley doing in the Lotus 49, I believe, after being towards the rear of the field last season. So good to see Robert having a great race and up in 12th at the moment. And just
Nicola Cochi is in the gravel at Luki Hates. What happened to the Italian? He was fighting for 10th place not too long ago. Seems like he ran into some problems because I can see quite some extensive damage on his nose. Let's see what happened into Luki Hates. Just straight up loses it. That seems to starting at Hayshed. So let's have a look there. Just on the exit, loses it. That's interesting behavior from a Lotus 49. So it seems like Nicola Cochi most definitely has some suspension damage. Otherwise, the Lotus 49 would not just lose the rear end like that. Oh, we're having a battle for second place. All of a sudden explode. That's between Peter Mikus now. Rob Olenek there side by side going into Hayshed. Olenek on the outside. Mikus on the inside. It also leaves the door open for Daniel Sadler going into Luki. Hates Sadler, tries to take away that position from Peter Mikus now. Also, the Tranger rate is in that. Now the inside though for Peter Mikus into MG. That should hopefully seal the deal for him to at least defend third place. No, he's still side by side with Sadler. This time though, Sadler has to move back. So Sadler in fourth place still with Trover Tranger rate in fifth. But here comes the long front stretch. It's the Gardner straight over Tranger rate with a lot of wheel angle there on the exit. That's not going to help him very much into turn one with the draft. And so they all stay in single file with Rob Olenek now in second place, Peter Mikus third, Sadro fourth, and Overtrain in fifth place.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened. I'm not sure what happened to Peter Mikus. He was in second place. Yeah, second place. I don't know if he's made a mistake or if these guys have just caught up to him and they're just much quicker at the moment. But Rob Olenek up into second now. So second now, and Peter Mikus is having to defend from Sadro and Ove Trengrade. So we've got a four-car battle going on for second place at the moment.
One thing we haven't talked about yet is actually the temperature on the track here today. It's mostly cloudy with 18 degrees Celsius in the air, but Ryan, the track, 31 degrees Celsius. That's actually a lot of temperature that these guys have to manage, and quite honestly, I didn't realize how hot this track was until just a few moments ago. And it seems like the Peter Mikus is starting to struggle with all that heat that he is getting into his tires because of the hot track temperature.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It could be something to do with the setup. Maybe tire pressures are not suiting the track temperatures at the moment. But as we're right on board with fifth place man Ove Trengrade at the moment, they still keeping up with these guys in this battle for second place as he gets a bit sideways in turn one, but manages to hold it. But this is what we expect from Ove. He likes to throw that car around.
Yeah, what this battle really did allow is Michel Dudignon just completely run away with it now. He is about 6 seconds away from second place with Ove Trengrade, nearly making a bit of a mistake, and with that also kind of nearly attacking Daniel Sadler into Honda as they all went by Jasmine Beach to lap her for the first time. There you can see the great battle pack for second place by the great shots that Ducky Beach always provides. P14 is also very hot. That's between Cleveland and Kochi. Kochi trying to get back on his positions that he lost during all of that time, though. Through the southern loop, it's not going to happen for him. Maybe, though, into Honda. He gets the setup. He goes to the right side of Cleveland. That should seal the deal for him into 14th place. He goes very much indeed. So, 13 and 12th, just up the road with Colin Cochran and Rang fighting just ahead of him. Let's see how fast he can close up on that battle as they're fighting quite fiercely for that 12th place. Colin Coker still able to keep that together for him. He is right now up 5 positions, starting in 17th.
Yeah.
No, he loses it nearly. Ho, ho, ho! Colin Coker with quite the save there as he loses a bit of internet juice there on me. There he is back. Andrew Eng still in 13th place. Nicola Kochi though, he's already pretty much closed in on that gap to Andrew Eng as there's a little bit of a wiggle from Colin Coker, sends him all the way to the inside of turn 12. That's not going to help him for the exit speed. Andrew Eng is able to close in, but here also comes Colin Nicola Kochi, sorry. He goes up into 13th place with Andrew Eng just having no straight line speed whatsoever.
Yeah, that was a nice save from Coker. He managed to hold on to that by as back to the battle for P3 up at the front. It's this battle for P3 is between Nikas Sadro and Ove Trengrade by the looks of it. It seems to have dropped back again. So I don't know if Ove is struggling with these track temperatures as well, or just a lack of pace.
Wouldn't be surprised to have Ove Trengrade struggling on this hot track with his driving style and setup style, with always having quite the
Ove Trengrade by the looks of it.
Daniel said though he's looking on
again
to try to take that 3rd place away from Peter Mikus. He was fighting for it for a very long time against Rob Olenek, but since Peter Mikus is starting to struggle with the hot temperatures, Sadro finds a new dancing partner for that 3rd place.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good to see Daniel having a good race as well. We know that he's really quick in the SRF in the Weekend Warriors League, and he's not doing just looking at Sadro at the moment on board with him, and he's still keeping up with Peter Mikus, and also in front of Mikus is Rob Olenek. So Sadro has been just keeping out of trouble and just thinking of the long game, and it seems to be paying off at the moment. And he's still keeping in touch with his battle for 2nd place and even the battle for the final step on the podium.
Just a short update on that battle for 12th place. Nicola Kochi. Why do I always want to say Colin Kochi? Either way, Nicola Kochi already got past Colin Coker the last lap for that 12th place. We're also going to look at the replay of that pass. And there we go. It's going to happen into Honda like we saw with that battle for 13th against Andrew Eng. He just goes to the inside and takes that place away. Next up on the hit list of Nicola Kochi is going to be Robert Plumley for the 11th place. Probably that's also as high as he will go, as there's quite the gap between Plumley and 10th place of David Rossi. You can see Kochi and Plumley in the picture, as Eng and Coker are fighting still for that 13th place now. Both of them having a bit of troubles, not only with the track, but also with their internet juice. And Eng tries to get a good run onto the front stretch. Let's see if that's going to work out for him. He goes a little bit wide, really dives down, and that's going to set him up for a great run down Gardner. Let's see if he's able to do something with it. Goes to the left side. It's not going to be the preferred line into Doohan. And he has to stick back. Maybe he goes wide there, Colin Coker. No, he sticks to the inside, but Robert Plumley made a mistake in turn 1. Now he's going to appear just ahead of them. That means Nicola Kochi already up into 11th place.
Yep, is this battle still going on? And I'm just looking back up at the front as well, and the battle for 2nd place is still really, really close.
Andrew Eng nearly into the bag of Colin Coker. Colin Coker gets a little bit scared by that, goes a little bit on the throttle, and then nearly loses his car in the middle of Honda. Once again, nearly loses the car in the middle of Siberia. Really struggling, both of them really struggling with the back end of their car. So they most definitely are overheating their rear tires at the moment. That all just helps Nicola Kochi get away from it.
Yep, absolutely. I don't think well, obviously I'm looking further back in the pack as well. There's nothing really happening at the moment apart from this battle and also the battle up at the front. But as also back to the front as well, this battle is still going on for the second and third place on the podium. And I think this battle's been going on for most of the race. Peter Mikas is falling back slightly from Rob Olenek.
I wouldn't say that he has fallen back now. I think he's actually starting to gain back on Rob Olenek. Seems like he was able to recover a little bit, change his driving style to accommodate for the hot temperatures and also the worn tires that he's now driving on. Daniel Sadro is starting to fall off though of Peter Mikas, so the fight for second place now only I wouldn't say that he has cars that he's now driving on, and Peter Mikas as Rob Olenek makes a little bit of a mistake through turn 11. Not gonna have too many implications as he's able to keep it all together through turn 12.
And the leader at the moment, Michel Dudillon, is basically all by himself, 7.9 seconds ahead.
Indeed, the dominator of this race thus far, the Frenchman, has seen the green flag and never looked back after that. Just running away with it. His fastest lap is about 3/10 faster than Rob Olenek, but actually he's not inheriting the fastest lap of the race. That actually goes to Peter Mikas by about a full tenth. 27.285 is the fastest lap right now, held by Peter Mikas, who is trying to really get back in that second place as Rob Olenek all of a sudden seems to be struggling with the tire wear and possibly the heat that his tires are generating. Is once again Peter Mikas seems like he's getting a run on Lucky Hates. Let's see if he can translate that into a pass in MG. Nope, he has to stay behind for at least 2 more turns.
Yeah, we've noticed this with some drivers in the series last season. Some drivers seem to do better in the cooler track conditions, but as soon as the track gets really hot, they seem to struggle a little bit. So maybe drivers are running tire pressures or camber for the colder track conditions instead of thinking about the hot track temperatures and track conditions as well. But doesn't seem to help, I should say.
Peter Mikas looks right, looks left, but to no avail. He still is behind Rob Olenek, but like it's looking right now, I don't think Peter Mikas will be in third place for too much longer, as we're already starting lap number 18. 3 corners of those 12 are already completed as well, and we're only having a 22 lap race. That means only 5 laps to go for these guys, and I wouldn't be surprised that Peter Mikas is now starting to try at least to pressure Rob Olenek into a mistake.
Yeah, absolutely. Still looking at this battle at the moment, and I don't think it's going to settle down anytime soon. I think this will go right down to the finish, and I think the person in the box seat at the moment in this battle, I think it could be. He's just in the background as Daniel Sadro, and further back as well behind him is Ove Trengrade, as someone's ran wide off track.
That was the lap car of Marco Ravioli. He's sitting in 18th place, a lap down now because of that. To those guys as well, not only to the leader of the race, but yeah, since Rob Olenek is starting to struggle with his tires, Daniel Sadro is slowly starting to get back into this. Also just realized that Sadro has some nose damage. I wonder where he picked that one up, as I don't see any damage on the rear of any car, so probably picked that up somewhere over a curb. Or maybe through a dip of MG. That's also a possibility where you can damage your Lotus foot. There we go, looking over the left shoulder of Daniel Sadro. Popcorn position for him in the battle of that second place. Rob Olenek once again, small mistake through the middle of Honda, but Peter Mikas not able to accomplish anything with that, as he's starting to try to set up the exit of Siberia, but Peter Mikas just, I don't know, maybe looking at the wrong spots for overtaking.
Yeah, quite possibly. He might just be thinking about where to make a move, or just trying to unsettle him a little bit.
Well, unsettling it is most definitely for Rob Olenek as he makes another mistake out of MG. Starting lap number 20, only 3 more laps to go for these guys to settle the fight for second place, all behind Michel Dudino, who is still leading your race. The Frenchman never fought for that first place, always running away with it. Peter Mikus once again not able to do anything into turn 1 about that second place. And I don't know, looking at this time around, the Gardner straight, never mind Mikus, no, he's not able to do something with that mistake of Rob Olenek. Though Rob Olenek once again slides out of Southern Loop. This might set Peter Mikus up for a pass into Honda. Let's see what he can do. Stoner corner. Not gonna be happening for him. That's Rob Olenek going sideways through Honda. Peter Mikus with the better launch out of Honda, and that's him back into second place. Peter Mikus, second place back for him.
Yeah, that was a bit of a brave move, but fantastic move at the same time, though. But Mika's back up into second place, and Olenek is under attack from Daniel Sadro. So Sadro, that I think, has figured out that now is the time he's got to try and make a move. And I thought he was going to throw it up the inside of Olenek there, but he's just showed his nose and he's unsettled Olenek a little bit, and Olenek is rattled.
Not only that, Daniel Sadro did a little bit of a look to the inside. Rob Olenek made a mistake on the brakes, nearly ran into the back of Peter Mikus, who himself made a mistake through MG. So everything is going off a little bit. Daniel Sadro looks to the right side of Rob Olenek into Duhan corner. Let's see if that is going to prevail for him. He has the right side. He goes side by side with Rob Olenek, but that's the outside for the Southern Loop. I don't think that's going to be working for him. Maybe he tries to set up the exit, but no, Rob Olenek really hard on the binders there to keep himself on the inside and thus keep the door shut on Sadro. Sadro, though, not want to take a no for an answer. He wants that third place, and he wants it now because this is already the penultimate lap of this race. Daniel Sadro not able to do anything into Honda. He has to really look hard for those passing opportunities because there are not many more that he can use to get past into that third place.
Yeah, absolutely not. I think there's not really that many places to pass. He could maybe here he might be able to make a move here, but that would be a bit of a risk making a move at this hairpin. I think his best chance of trying to make a move on all in it is if he can get a good exit on the exit of this hairpin here. As a head onto the straight.
White flag. White flag in the air for Michel Dudino as he crosses the style finish line for the penultimate time. Same for Mikus, now also for Olenek and Sadro. That battle for second place still isn't over yet because Rob Olenek is able to get back into the slipstream of Peter Mikus. Mikus, he isn't looking too safe ahead of him because now also he's starting to make mistakes as Rob Olenek goes super wide through the middle of Southern Loop. Has a little bit of a slide out of it. That might give a little bit of a run to Daniel Sadro, but no, he's too far back on Rob Olenek right now to do anything into Honda. Or maybe Rob Olenek makes a mistake through Honda, but that's also not looking like it's happening. So they're still second through fourth like they got into this last lap. A little bit of a wiggle by Daniel Sadro going into sub-gear. That's not going to help his cause either. Rob Olenek has a very good launch though out of sub-area. That might help his cause. Fired fight in second place. Let's have a quick look though into P15. That's Paul Ferrer versus Andrew Eng. They are just ahead of them. Actually, they are also just ahead of Michel Dudino. That's a 3-car battle for them. We can report that for second place. Nothing happened through MG. Michel Dudino, he is gonna cross the start-finish line any moment though. So give it up for your first winner of this season. It's Michel Dudino winning the first Grand Prix here at Philippe Island, just ahead of Peter Mikus. That's about 7.5 seconds between them. Rob Olenek takes home a 3rd place, and Daniel Sadro, it's only a 4th place for him, as he is probably disappointed with that one. Looking back though at P number 8. Sorry, that's actually P number 10. That is 9, sorry, between Michael Cook, Rossi. Those two are finding that one out, but it seems like Michael Cook is going to be able to come out on top of that, unless he runs out of fuel down the Gardner Straight. We have seen a lot of races being decided by fuel consumption, but this one is going to go to Michael Cook.
Yep, as the battle, the battle for P16 is this coming round as well. This is the battle between Andrew Eng and what looks like Donald Peake. So Donald's managed to keep it going and just keep it out of trouble, and he's putting Andrew under pressure as they come into the hairpin. Andrew locks up a little bit and runs slightly low. Donald's going to get the run him on the exit of the final couple of corners, possibly. Actually not. Andrew Eng manages to get it back in shape and get it together, and manages to hold on to the position.
Yeah, 15th gonna go to Paul Ferrer, 16th Andrew Eng, and 17th goes to Donald Peake. Those few cars were also the last on the lead lap. So with that, the racing might be over here in Australia, but the show is far from done. We're going to step aside for just a few moments to take a breather, but we will be quickly back for the post-race show. We will run down the finishing order, talk to some of the drivers, and close off an eventful race. So don't step away too far, as GSRC will be back after these messages. We welcome you all back to the Grand Prix Legends post-race show, streaming into your home on the global SimRacing channel via the iRacing Esports network. First on the list of things we are allowed to talk about is the unofficial finishing order, and most likely Michel Didino is the man that smiles the most out of this race, as he is once again the points leader of this season. Peter Mikus, second place for him. He probably also is smiling equally as much as Michel Didino, as that's Peter Mikus' best result in quite a long time. Rob Olenek, third place for him. Title defense, most definitely on the good side of the star. Daniel Sadler, fourth place for him, probably also smiling quite a lot. Over terrain grade, fifth. Chris Murakami, sixth. He is the first car to actually gain a position here. Antonio Reese, the first car to lose one. They both switched positions. Sebastian Tixier in 8th place with Michael Cook in 9th, and David Rossi finishes off the top 10 of this race.
And finishing in 11th was Nicola Cocci. 12th was Robert Plumley. 13th was Brennan Cleveland. 14th was Colin Coker. 15th was Paul Ferrer. 16th was Andrew N. 17th was Donald Peake. 18th was Marco Ravioli. 19th was Yussi Yaskola. Hopefully I said that right. And rounding out to 20 was Yasmin Beach.
21st went to Alessandro Parisi, Ansi Kalulahti in 22nd, Trent Buss 23rd, and running out to 24 car field is Andrea Corsetti. First to talk to us after this race is Daniel Sadro. Daniel, 4th place. That must feel a lot better than all the 5th place you gained last season.
Hey, yeah, no, it felt really good. Phillip Island is, I think Phillip Island is one of my better tracks. So it felt good to keep it on the blacktop and keep and was actually being competitive. That was the part that felt the best.
Well, you gave quite the show there at the start of the race with Rob Olenek with, I think, counted 600 times of passing opportunities into MG. How did that first part of the race feel to you?
No, it was fun actually. It was kind of a repeat of the last race we did together. That I knew I was making a lot of mistakes, but Rob was just making more, and I was able to get in front of him because of his mistakes. But I knew I wouldn't be able to keep in front of him especially not for the the middle part of the race. So I wasn't gonna be too much of an idiot there, but I definitely had some fun there.
Well, since you didn't make the top 5 last season in the standings in the Grand Prix Legends Series, what are your targets for this season?
Well, my targets are always just individual races to do the best that I can. I can't exactly run full time this season. I have enough time to do either Camel or Grand Prix Legends. So I'll be kind of swapping off depending on which track each one is running. So I'm really not in the contention for the championship, I don't think, but I'm just there to every race do my best.
Well, so I'm expecting a few first places then from you.
Well, you can expect that.
Well, Daniel, but I would say at least the podium this season is most definitely on for you.
Well, we'll see.
Well, we're most definitely gonna see. Daniel, congrats once again on your 4th place, and good luck in the rest of the season.
Thanks. Have a good one, guys.
That was Daniel Snyder, your 4th place finisher of today. Next up, it's Ryan Walker talking to Antonio Reese.
Yeah, Antonio finishing in 7th place after a very good race and finishing inside the top 10, finishing in 7th. And Antonio, how was that race for you? And did you have any expectations with it being the first round of the new season, or was it just finish the race and pick up points?
Hello, good night, everyone. I first of all, I worry why the top guys didn't come to the interview. They should come. It would be nice to listen from them, but I finished 7th place, and I put myself on the line for the interview just because I think it's very sad. End of the race, no one to talk. But yeah, well, for the question you ask, I'm like Daniel. I'm very similar with Daniel. I'm very similar type of person like Daniel. On the racing, I always, kind of expecting the best, expecting if possible to win, fighting for positions, but you know, keeping the pace we have and respect the position we have. We cannot do better than that. Just keep going.
Good to hear. For this season, is there anything that you're aiming for? Is there any? Would you like to try and go for any or go for the championship, I should say, or maybe try and finish on the podium? What are the aims and expectations?
Yeah, well, I will do whatever I can to get as much as I can in the top. I mean, I know I have no chance with these guys like Michel Dudignon and Peter Michaels and Rob and Daniel Ove, and I'm slower than them usually. So I have no much expectation to go, too further on this. About the I rating, we can get some I rating and some points on the championship. It's cool. Yeah, it's my aim for this season is as usual, just not losing too much.
Good to hear. Before we let you go, Antonio, are you looking forward to next week's track, and are you planning to race?
Yeah, I'll look for the next week tracks. Sure, yes, I'll be there. I'll be very happy to be there. Yeah.
Good to hear. Well, thanks for joining us in the booth, Antonio, and again, congratulations on P7. And yeah, we look forward to seeing you on track next week.
Okay, guys. Thank you. Thank you for all your work, and see you everyone. Bye bye.
The classic boot at Watkins Glen is going to be home of round number 2 here on the iRacing Esports Network for the Grand Prix Legends Series. As always, we would like to thank the iRacing Esports Network for having us on their talent lineup to bring you the greatest shows on iRacing into your home. Make sure to like and especially subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet. On top of that, we'd like to thank everyone on the track today for a great show, and especially the Lotus 49 community for contracting with GSRC to broadcast it. Right now on your screen, you can see all of the companies that provide us with their great hardware and software GSRC uses to deliver you the best possible show. Additional thanks goes to June Lalonde, who provides us with her great masterpieces. See the screen for how to get a hold of more of her great work. If you'd like to find out more about GSRC, please visit us at globalsimracingchannel.com. You can also find us on the social media platforms, Twitter with @GSRChannel, Facebook at facebook.com/globalsimracingchannel, or Instagram at GSRC_RAM. All of the upcoming races for our Order Series are now sliding across your screen, so check them out and mark them down in your calendar to not miss another second of exciting racing action. Finally, on behalf of the entire crew, Sean, Ryan, and Doug, I'd like to thank you all for tuning in as Michel Dudignon took away the victory here in the state of Victoria. With that said, until next time, servus and sayonara! And as always, race hard, race clean, and we'll see you on the track.